Check, check, check. Oh, maybe not. Oh, okay. Yeah, yellow. I gotcha. Okay. You push it, it goes green when it's if you hold it. Check. Good evening and welcome to the Greater Lake Stevens Chamber of Commerce Community Candidate Forum for the 2021 November elections. Tonight's candidates include those running for Snohomish County Council, District 5, Lake Stevens School District Directors from District 4 and 5, Lake Stevens Sewer District Commissioner position number 2, and the City of Lake Stevens City Council positions number 1, 2, 6, and 7. Want to make you aware of some information we have for you this evening as well. Back on the table, towards the edge of the building, the Snohomish Regional Fire and Rescue has some information about the levee lid lift. It's over on the table that is to the right of the audience, and you can pick that up on the way out this evening. Before we get started this evening, a few notes for the audience on expectations from you. Masks are required for those that wish to be inside the building. If you would prefer, we do have speakers on that will broadcast the questions and candidate answers around the outside of the building. We are also live streaming on the Greater Lake Stevens Chamber of Commerce Facebook page. No political or candidate signs will be allowed inside the building. Anyone disrupting proceedings will be asked to leave. Should they refuse, the Greater Lake Stevens Chamber of Commerce reserves the right to end the event immediately, canceling all further activities for the evening. Questions this evening will be asked by our moderator, Doug Warren, only. There will be no open mic questions. Please try to limit applause to a few short seconds after responses. We only have a limited time here this evening, and we want to cover as much ground as we have time for. If time permits, we may have the opportunity for you to speak one-on-one with candidates and pick up some of their campaign information located on the tables in front of them. We'll have further instructions should time permit for this at the end of the forum. Our questions this evening have been aggregated from an online forum which the public was invited to submit questions through by members of the Greater Lake Stevens Chamber of Commerce and from the Chamber Advocacy Committee. We appreciate their hard work to aggregate and come up with questions for tonight's community candidate forum. We ask that you please be respectful of these candidates vying for public office. Cheer for those you support. Sit quietly for the ones you do not. Listen to all sides and then make a decision on your own. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our timer for this evening, Christine Egglestad. And And ladies and gentlemen, our moderator this evening, Mr. Doug Warren. Doug?
Thank you, Matt. So thank you all for coming and participating in this forum. This is really an important time for the community to be able to learn more about the candidates. And thank you, community, for showing up. It's great to see this kind of turnout. Each of you will be given 30 seconds for an opening statement. We're shortening it down because we do have quite a few candidates. We're just going to cut it down to 30-second opening statement. And then each of the questions will either be 30 seconds or a minute, and I'll let you know, mostly so I can let Christine know what that time is going to be on each of those. Some of them we felt were short enough we could fit in 30 seconds. Some of them maybe give you a full minute. And then at the end, we'll go back and wrap it up again with a 30-second chance to give a wrap-up of each of you. I'm going to mix up how we ask them, so I'm not asking the same person the first every time, just so it gives everybody a chance to go first and everybody a chance to go last. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the questions. I will address the questions as to who they are for. Some of them will be for all of the candidates. Some of them will be for just specific races. So this one will be, we'll just start off. We're going to do opening statements by each person, and let's just go ahead and start here on the left with Marcus.
All right, so I don't have to hit the unmute button, luckily enough, on this one. So my name is Marcus Tagent, Lake Stevens City Councilman, position number 7. I grew up here in Lake Stevens. I graduated from Lake Stevens High School. I served in the United States Marine Corps. And after getting out of the Marines, I went to Washington State University. And then after that, I came back to Lake Stevens and opened up my own small little business. I'm for safety, and I think it's really important that we continue with parks and watch out for our traffic and transportation in the city of Lake Stevens.
Thank you. Joseph.
Did you want us to stand?
That's completely up to you.
My name is Joseph Jensen. I am running for Lake Stevens City Council, position 7. I have lived in Lake Stevens now for a little over a decade, and I grew up in many of the communities that are surrounding us, Mukilteo, Mill Creek, Everett, Marysville. One of the things that makes me want to run for Lake Stevens City Council is that I've put down my roots here, and I love this city, and I want to make sure that it is the best that it can possibly be. Thank you.
Steve Ewing, Lake Stevens City Council member, position 6. I've been in Lake Stevens since 2005. Lake Stevens is the safest city in Snohomish County and one of the safest cities in Washington State. I fully support public safety, and I'm endorsed by the Lake Stevens Police Guild, Snohomish County Sheriff's Deputies, and the Washington Council of Police and Sheriffs. Maintaining our city's public safety is critical so we can work, play, and recreate in this fabulous city. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Jessica Wadhams. I'm running for position 6. I have been a resident of Lake Stevens for close to 9 years. I have 2 children, one of which is in the school system. I am extremely invested in the future of Lake Stevens. I want to make sure that we're approaching our growth management with a sustainable eye, and making sure that our public safety is our top priority for all of our citizens. Thank you.
No. There we go. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Gary Petershagen, running for re-election, City Council position number 2. I've served in the City Council for the last 4.5 years. Prior to that, 6 years on the Lake Stevens Planning Commission. Lived here since 1995 permanently, and on and off prior to that in my school years. Our kids attended Lake Stevens all through school and graduated, and fortunately they're on their way to bigger and better things. With that, running for re-election, hope to secure your vote and look forward to it tonight. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Joyce Copley. I'm running for Lake Stevens City Council, position 2. I moved to the city of Lake Stevens in 2006. I am a Boeing transplant. I came from Wichita, Kansas. I'm now retired from the engineering department with the Boeing company. I did some work down in South Seattle for a large construction company down there. From there, I moved to the city of Shoreline, Planning and Community Development. I am for the people of Lake Stevens. I'm concerned about safety and traffic here. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kim Daughtry. I am the City Councilman in Position 1. I'm running for re-election because I love this city. We're doing a lot of great things. I want to keep going with those things. I'm running for transportation problems. I'm on all the transportation boards in the region. And just, the public safety and parks, et cetera, are just the high priorities here. And then the Growth Management Act, which needs to be changed, and we're trying to do that in the legislature.
Good evening. I'm Michelle Hampton, and I'm running for the Lake Stevens City Council, position number 1. What I bring to the table is different than anyone else here. My training is as an attorney, and I bring critical thinking and the courage of my convictions. This is the 5th safest city in our state. I want it to stay that way. I care about this community, and I am willing to work hard to listen to you so we can work together, because business as usual is over.
Hi, Sam Lowe, Snohomish County Council. It's great to be here tonight. It's great to be here with all my neighbors. And so, we all live in this community. We all care about this community. And my wife and I both chose to raise our family here in this community. I got 5 kids, 4 are in college right now. So it's a little bit of a struggle, but we're having a good time. And I run a business here in this community, and I appreciate everybody showing concern and being here tonight. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Stevenson. I'm running for Lake Stevens Sewer District, position number 2. I've lived in Lake Stevens for 25 years. I'm married and I have 2 teenage boys. I own my own small business of accounting and medical billing for the last 15 years. I volunteer in my local churches and community outreaches. If elected, I believe that infrastructure and growth should be paid for by the developers and not the ratepayers. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Rochelle McDaniel, and I am a lifelong resident of Lake Stevens. I was a former city council member, and I've also have 2 children. I was a small business owner. I'm semi-retired now. My husband was the former sewer commissioner for this position. Unfortunately, he passed away in March of 2018, and I hope to bring his values and our values for this city back into our sewer district and to the city of Lake Stevens.
Hi. Okay, make sure everyone can hear me. My name is Nina Kim Hansen. I am running for Lake Stevens School District, position 4, and I am running because I really care. I really care about our K through 12 education. I have 2 young kids, one's 6 and one's 2, and the oldest one is in 1st grade right now, and I'm very much invested. I am a higher education longtime teacher, and I've also worked with the transition from high school to college, and I'm just really excited to work for you.
Hi, I'm so grateful that you're all here. I am Vildan Kirby, running for School Board Director, position 5. I have twin boys, 12-year-old. They are 7th graders, and I started subbing for our district when they started kindergarten. I love this community, and I'm here for all the kids and for safe schools. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Let's see. Our first question is going to be specifically for City Council. I'm going to start with Michelle, and then we'll work back over to my left, ending with Marcus. This question is on growth. Do you agree with the growth direction the city is taking? Would you continue the current course or do things differently? And if so, what? Oh, 1 minute.
Ooh, that's good. That's very good. So the question, if I understand it correctly, is what do I think about growth? How's it going? Would I go in the same direction? Well, I think we've got some inherent issues because although the Growth Management Act may have been formed with good intentions, I think Lake Stevens is particularly situated with a big, beautiful body of water in the middle of it. And it's not that we don't want to comply. I believe we have some absolute barriers that require us to do things a little different. Now, we all know growth is going to happen. It's not always a happy thing. But I think what we need to do is go back and look at zoning, because I think we need more mixed use, where maybe we've got commercial or retail and living space up above. That's going to give us some of the density we need and still maintain some ability to foster in those businesses that the city always says that they would like to have. So I have more ideas, but I'm running out of time. Please come talk to me after.
Well, I could almost say ditto on that. Growth Management Act started in 1990. Good idea at the time. One size fits all, and we're finding out it doesn't fit all. Lake Stevens is a totally different city than most of the things that are covered in the Growth Management Act, as far as I'm concerned. And we need some changes there to make it to where it is a little bit more palatable for how we need to grow in our community and how we want to grow. There's a lot of things that we can do. Zoning requirements are being changed and code amendments are being done to help with affordable housing and those kinds of things. But our land use and the little bit of land that we have left needs to be used in a very conscientious way. And we need to find the better way to get to economic development and better housing for the different types of people that are coming into our city. We're growing rapidly. We have been since I've been on the council, and I welcome the challenge.
Are we ready? So again, my name is Joyce Copley, and my concern is the way things are being handled. Coming from a planning and community development background, I took the extra effort to pull the dockets from Snohomish County. I read through the RCWs and I found out what is currently being submitted, and I'm in disagreement with it because every one of them was kicked back. Every docket was kicked back based on public facilities and services. A lot of it was safety issues, which I am concerned about. With my background and my experience, I will have to take a look at what we got, revamp it, reimagine it, and make sure that we are not only complying with certain things from the GMA, but go back to the county on some of those things that we feel like here at Lake Stevens we need to change. But right now, their concern is that we're not developing according to the GMA, and we need to really get back to what they're asking, find a comprehensive plan that's going to work for everybody, and move forward.
Thank you. This is a difficult question. We all deal with growth in our area and transportation and so forth, but equating growth creates opportunities, and opportunities helps us solve problems. We hear a lot about sustainable growth. I'm in the real estate industry, and I wish somebody would please explain to me what in the world sustainable growth is. We are going to grow. We're going to grow under the Growth Management Act, and we need to comply with the rules and regulations. Unfortunately, Snohomish County has not granted any urban boundary extensions to any municipality in this county. We are stuck with what we got. And until the county recognizes that we need some more room to grow, we're going to have to deal with these things a little bit differently going forward. So with that, again, growth creates opportunities. Those opportunities create things that we can solve our problems. So thank you.
Hi, yes. So no, I do not agree with the current trajectory of our growth management that we have right now. Currently, we just recently put in requests to expand our urban growth area through the county. We were denied. 6 of those were for rezoning. A big piece of that is that we are not hitting our density targets. We are only at 1/10 of that right now. I'll piggyback off of what Ms. Hampton said earlier as a great alternative, having mixed-use options, making sure that we are incentivizing developers to come in that are looking to do multifamily housing. This is really the first stop in making sure that the homelessness issue is addressed and having affordable housing. And lastly, we do have land that is currently zoned for single-family housing that we can rezone. We also have land that is untapped for commercial and industrial options as well. Thank you.
Thank you, and also thank you to those who made some excellent points. Each of the candidates have made good points there. This is a difficult subject, and it's one that frustrates a lot of people. When talking to people door to door, they're frustrated with the growth, the lack of infrastructure, the lack of roads that are there. I spent 2 years on the Planning Commission prior to spending 2 years on the City Council. I'm familiar with some of the issues that are before us. One of the issues that I would like to see, or one of the things that has been brought up here, is Lake Stevens does have a limited real estate with which to work, but having a multi-use facility, similar Totem Lake Plaza is something that they did there, where they have businesses there, they have on the first floor, and they have multi-use, condominiums, apartments, and multifamily dwellings above that. Having something like that, having opportunities for people to have options as far as the real estate, not just single family. Thank you.
Can you ask the question one more time? I want to make sure I understood it.
Do you agree with the growth direction the city is taking? Would you continue the current course or do things differently? And if so, what?
Thank you very much. I do not believe the direction that the city of Lake Stevens has been growing is the right direction, but it is in a direction. The amount of opinions that you'll find on this range the colors of the rainbow, but one of the things that we do need is to remember our growth through the next 40 years, 50 years, 70 years. Are we setting the foundation stones today to be able to support what the city is going to become? I'm not sure we do. Sustainable growth, at least to me, means that we're going to be able to build the type of facilities. We're going to have these facilities built in such a way that we will not need to come back in 10 years and rebuild them again. And we're going to be able to look at every single one of our different entertainment, business, or living spaces and make sure that they match the projected totals.
Great. I think everyone's touched on that growth is tricky. There's a lot of different types of growth here in Lake Stevens. A lot of people say they've been here a decade. In that decade, we've seen a tremendous amount of housing because people want to come and live in Lake Stevens, enjoy our school. I grew up in the schools districts here. When we talk about growth, one thing that we've done, and several of us council members have already done, is we passed infill code, so that way people can build accessory dwellings, so we can work on affordable housing, which I've been endorsed by affordable housing, and several of the council members here have been endorsed by affordable housing. It's an important part of this. When we talk about growth, we talk about our streets, we talk about traffic, we talk about all these different things in open spaces. And how are we going to facilitate all this growth and so forth? So when you say growth, it's a tricky thing, but I tell you the one most important thing is the experience that it takes to forward think. In 10 years from now, we're going to have traffic coming many directions, and that growth is going to be a challenge, and it's going to take experience and partnerships and strategic planning, not now, but in the future as well. Thank you.
All right, this next question is going to be for the school board candidates. They will get 1 minute to answer. If you thought the last one was tricky, they get trickier. We're going to start with Jennifer and go from there to my right. So Jennifer will be the first to answer. This one is on sex education. What is your knowledge and understanding of the new K through 12 sex education curriculum? What specific content do you find controversial or objectionable? And how do you define age appropriate?
Doug, Jennifer and I
Oh,
are
I'm
for sewer
sorry.
district.
Nina, you don't need to answer that one.
For a second, I thought you were talking to my mom. She's Jennifer. Thank you for your question. Like I said earlier, I am a mom. I have 2 young kids, and I'm very invested in their curriculum. And I have a PhD background and I've researched quite a bit. So when it comes to rabbit holes and research, that's where I am. And so when it comes to sex education, I delve very deep into what it actually is. And I look at in between the lines, every single content to see what is it that my kids are going to be taught. Now, first of all, parents, if you're in here, and I know you are, you always have your way to make a decision. Those values, if they match yours, great. If they don't, there's always an option to also opt out. That's available through the district. I do not believe that our teachers are teaching inappropriate curriculum. That's where I stand on sex ed. So that's where I will end.
My first obligation is our children's safety. For that reason, I am really excited about a scientifically informed and age-appropriate curriculum, sex ed curriculum. It is extremely important for children to know about inappropriate touching, trusted adults, appropriate names of the body parts. However, I want all the parents to know that this is part of the state law that they can opt out completely, or they can opt out from the certain curriculum that is going to be taught in the classroom. Other than that, I am all in support of it, and it is very important to know that families can opt out of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Jennifer, now I'm going to give you a chance. This one's probably not quite as tricky, but do you support the early merger between the city of Lake Stevens and the Lake Stevens Sewer District? And please explain your answer. 1 minute.
You started with a loaded question there. You know, I think there's positives. I don't think we're there yet for an early merger. I think it has to be mutual. And I think that the interlocal agreement that was signed in 2005, you know, it's a legal document and it should be taken into consideration. I think financial management and the staff that we have at the sewer district is incredible. And I think we're continuing to pay down debt, and that's important. So I'm not in favor of it right now, but if it's mutual, I think that it would be a good idea. So thank you.
Do you want me to use up the rest of our time?
You get your own time.
I am in favor of an early merger. This is something that my husband and I both agreed on. It is good management financially for us, the ratepayer, and for the city of Lake Stevens. We have a lot of discussion here about our growth. And what everyone in this room should know is that the sewer district does depend on single-family growth. For every sewer stub that's put in, they get a phenomenal fee from those developers. And I do know that they've raised that fee, which is great. But we also have a $60 million debt on our treatment plant and a $30 million upgrade that's coming. Please explain to me how the sewer district is going to maintain that not only the billing for it, but who's going to pay for it? Because eventually there will not be enough developers to pay for it. A multi-story building and a commercial building like Costco only take about 3 to 6 ERUs. That's not going to pay for it. So we are going to end up paying as ratepayers on our rates every single month.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and direct this question also to the city council members as it's pertinent here. And we're going to start with Jessica, work our way to the right, and then come back around to Marcus. Did you want me to repeat the question?
Yes, please do.
Do you support the early merger between the city of Lake Stevens and the Lake Stevens Sewer District? Explain your answer, please.
I do not right now, only because if we're looking at the grander picture right now, there is a lot that needs to be done in the city. We've got some issues around permitted work. We've got some issues around what we're doing with our growth management. You know, it's important that we stay focused on the things that are affecting us and affecting us for the future. I want to make sure that Lake Stevens is a community that prioritizes quality of life over the, you know, profitability of developers. I want to be able to look at my community and know that this is a fantastic place for my children to spend the rest of their life in, because that's the investment that I made when I moved to Lake Stevens. So until we can kind of get our ducks in a row in the other areas that we need to, I think we need to put that on pause for now.
Oh, I heard right, so. Having served on the utility committee appointed by the mayor, I am in favor of an early unification of the sewer district into the city. What we are planning for, as was referred to, is sustainable development. We're talking about issues that are 10 to 15 years from now, and we need to be in concert with each other as to how the utility and the infrastructure is put in place. The issues of, we do have some redundancies as far as billing. I think there is some cost savings in that regard. We have maintenance facilities that can be shared. We work cooperatively with the sewer district constructing a decant facility. So I know that partnership can work. We're looking to, I think, move this ahead so that we can have a closer partnership in planning for the future. So I do support an earlier unification rather than later. Thank you.
I do not. I do not support the merger. I have spoken with people from the sewer district, and it's unfortunate that we're not charging the developers more. You can write that into a developer's extension where you're charging them whatever you want to charge them for sewer and water. This is mandated by each city. You can require it, you can ask them for it, and you can make them pay for whatever we need when you're developing. Now, I have, like I say again, I have spoken to people with the sewer district. We have to get our stuff together here, like Stevens, and it's not together. We have to revamp what we're doing. We have to have fresh eyes to take a look at it. We've got to get a handle on our GMA. We got to get a handle on our traffic and our trestle. There's so much that we got to do here to clean our own house before we go merging with anyone. I do not support this. I believe we all got to be better. I believe that we got to get in there and make some real positive changes. And I would start with a developer agreement. Thank you.
I do support the early merger for some of the statements have already been made by Councilman Peter Sagan. We've been trying to get this done for quite a while. There is some cost savings that can be done. They're not pie in the sky cost savings, but there's savings. And looking to the future with the sewer district as an integral part of the city instead of just a partner with the city, it'll make it a lot easier for the future planning that Lake Stevens needs to do in places like Hartford and 20th Street, Southeast Corridor, and others. I also agree that the developers need to be paying a better fair share of the sewer connection fees. And we're going to have some trouble here coming down the line of paying for all this stuff we need to pay for. And that's a fact.
Thank you for the question. This is extremely timely. As was mentioned, by 2032, the merger will be put into effect. So we've got essentially a 10-year period of time that we are able to either go forward with the merger more quickly or wait. And I do think there's a distinct benefit in going forward more quickly. And the reason is because right now, the sewer district, not evil at all, but they are a separate district. The city does not have the authority to say, okay, well, we want to put some multi-use over here, so let's run some commercial lines and things that are suitable for that. And let's get that done as a priority. The city right now has to say, sewer district, what do you think? Can we do this? Do you have the resources to do this? And they are free to say, no, I'd rather focus in this area. And so because of that pull and push, we're in a place where growth is concerning.
Okay, I sit on the sewer utility committee as well. I think like others have said, we're going to merge at some point. I think now is a good time to merge. We're in a unique spot in the next 10 years, 12 years to move two organizations together and save money. There was a report done by Moss Adams that said that merging will help us save money. And ultimately that helps save ratepayers money. We can have a lot of redundancy. So there's a good opportunity for us. Sewer collection, storm collection, have these people working together. Like was said, we merged and did a decant facility. We're already moving down that same road. Speeding that up will very likely help us save money, which helps save the ratepayers. There's a lot of capital improvement projects, both in the city and with the sewer district, and merging our financials together and working together to try to bring those projects to Lake Stevens to benefit you. That's what I'm about, is saving money and helping us merge and make Lake Stevens cohesive.
I think I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction with this. I do not support the early merger of the sewer district, and I think that both Jennifer and Rochelle gave us fantastic examples of why we shouldn't. But I think the best reason that I'm going to be able to give you right now is the members who are in favor have a lot in common, and they have a lot to gain. The members who are against also have a lot in common, and they have nothing to gain. There's a lot of control from people who will financially benefit from these decisions that the sewer district makes from City Council itself. So keep that in mind while we listen to the rest of the answers.
Thank you. Thank you to all the excellent answers that have been presented by the other candidates. One of the things, as pointed out, I want to thank the existing Sewer Commission for their efforts to work towards having sewer accessible for all the areas of the city. As we grow, I'll just note that one of the areas that we've struggled with in developing is the Hartford area, and one of the challenges we face with development of that area is lack of sewer infrastructure there. So improving efficiencies, making sure that the rates are low for the people, ensuring, as has been noted, that developers pay an appropriate share, but noting that that is going to be passed on to those who are purchasing the businesses and the residents. So I do, there's a lot of heavy lifting to be done with the merger, but I think it's better to be done sooner than later.
All right, move on to the next question. Sam, I didn't forget about you over there. It's just most of the questions that were sent in were really mostly for the city. So this one actually is a question for the city, but Sam, I'm going to start with you and let you answer this one too. This is about police reform. What is your view on police reform, and is it needed in Lake Stevens? 1 minute to answer.
Excellent question. First of all, I support our police officers here in Lake Stevens. I also support our Snohomish County deputies. That's why they have endorsed me in my campaign. You know, our legislature made some decisions. They passed 13 different reforms. A lot of those reforms were great reforms. Actually, all of them were good to some point, but there was 4 reforms that were a little bit of a difficult position. The city council just this week unanimously asked for the state legislature to have a special session to fix some of those reforms. And I think they should. I think we should have a special session on that. So are some of the reforms great? Yes. Do some of them need to be tweaked? Yes. I don't think they need to be overhauled, but they definitely need to be tweaked. Thank you.
And then we'll move over here to Marcus and work our way down to City Council.
Yes, I think I support our Lake Stevens police officers. Safety has been important for us. I helped pass a resolution with the rest of the city council saying that there's a lot of ambiguities. Given our police officers the ability to help people, and a great scenario that was brought up during the last meeting was that there was someone who had challenges and the police department couldn't help because of the reforms were unclear. So while I think some of the reforms are good, I think we need to give our police officers clarity. I'm endorsed by the police officers here in Lake Stevens, and I've supported all the great work they've done. We have a great, safe city, but helping them have clarity, helping them have the right training to handle this, and giving them the funds to do these things, that's what's most important. So I'm not in favor of all the police reforms. I think they need to be clarified. I think some of them help, but a lot of them were just never taken, so I hope special session happens to clarify that.
Thank you for this question. It's pretty incredible. One of the things that I think needs to be made unequivocally clear is that the City of Lake Stevens Police Department has done an incredible job with what they have. Our city is excellent when it comes to many of the ratings and crime statistics, and I'm very proud of them for the hard work that they put in to be able to do this. I find the ambiguities in the new law understandable. There are ambiguities, and we should have them clarified. I also actually believe that we need to address what someone has called criminal underfunding of our police department very recently. And it is difficult for me to imagine a reality in which we have 12 years of city council members not handling the budget for the police department appropriately, but they still support them?
Lake Stevens is the safest city in Snohomish County, and one of the safest cities in the state of Washington, in large part due to the current council members supporting, fully funding our police officers. I hear repeatedly from the hundreds and hundreds of people that I've talked to, do not allow your police department to be defunded. Do not be stupid. Do not be like Seattle and these other cities. Repeatedly, across all demographics of people. There are reforms or things that may be work. I work in the criminal justice field. I'm aware of that. I deal with that on a daily basis. I work with some of the injustices that have been identified in those laws. Some of the adjustments have been made. That there are some improvements that need to be made, absolutely. But I am endorsed by law enforcement because I support them. If you say you support law enforcement, don't have their endorsement, I'm not sure how much weight your support of law enforcement carries.
Hi, yes. So I'll just echo what everyone else has been saying because I wholeheartedly believe it. I think we have a fantastic police department. I've had an opportunity to sit down with our previous chief, Dyer, and have great conversations about what direction he wanted to go in leading his department in regards to a community policing model, which is a very proactive approach in stopping crime from happening and building relationships with the community at large. I do believe that if there is ambiguity, we in regard to the reform, we do need to be asking those questions. I'm not sure if the proclamation is necessarily the first step in that. I would argue that, have we exhausted all other resources and all other ways to get those answers? And then lastly, by council's own admission in one of their most recent meetings, they are underfunding the police. And, back to Joseph's point, it's about time we put our money where our mouth is in regards to supporting them.
We on? Thank you. I was the council person that brought forth the resolution the other night to reevaluate the things that are taking place in our state, county, cities in regards to the recently passed legislative session police reforms. And I think, it came about because we talked to our police folks and they tell us the difficulties that they're having in enforcing the law. And the legislation was crafted by people that don't enforce the law. And so there's a disconnect there. And so our resolution that we brought forward was to ask the legislature and the governor to reevaluate and hopefully clarify some of the directions that were given. One of the problems we have with our funding is right now we spend about 70% of the general fund on police. So the issue is, how do you pay for it? Plain and simple. I have the endorsement of the Police Guild. Thank you.
So I am very pleased with the police department. I have had ongoing conversations with Chief Dyer. Initiative I-940, Jeff, before he was commander back then, he and I had conversations on how this was going to come down the pike and how to better support that. What people are wanting to do is they're wanting to reimagine some of the, not just defunding at all, but reimagine some of the services. I've also talked to Kevin O'Brien about some of the needs that they have, not only with the police department, but with the people that are having mental health issues and other issues that don't require force at that time. So I think that we're needing more social services along with the police department to help them come along and be more supportive towards them. But the police reform, I think that those are additional educational tools and ways to help manage public safety. Thank you.
So I also believe that the police reforms need to be looked at, and that's why we passed that resolution that Gary brought Tuesday night to us, and we passed it unanimously. That being said, I'm also endorsed by the Police Guild. I do support more police officers. I do support more training. I do support more equipment for what they need to do. We just had a couple of weeks ago, we had a staffing report come in and what we want to do in the future up to 2025 for staffing. And they're going to have 2 police officers coming on in the next year. And I said, why not 6? And the reason really is how do we pay for it? That's what we have to work through. That's what the council does. We try to find out how we're going to pay for things. And that's what we're in charge of. We're in charge of the budget. And so that's what we're going to look for. We're going to look to see how we can bring more police officers into Lake Stevens.
Could I ask that you just repeat the question one more time? I've gone through a lot of voices.
Hold on, I got to find it.
Okay, thank you.
Do you feel police reform is needed in Lake Stevens? And what is your view on police reform?
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate that. So as we learn and understand more and have new and different kinds of interactions, we have reforms. And those are good things because that means we're moving forward. Because when we know better, we do better. And I want to just give kudos to our police department. They are an accredited department. They've come a long way. They weren't always accredited, but they have been within the last handful of years. And we've got well-trained folks that really focus on community interactions. And we've got good officers making good decisions. However, because of the annexation, and let me just say this, if you're with Redora, Southeast, or Machias, I am so sorry the way you were annexed, but I'm glad you're part of the community. But because of the annexations, we need 2, 4, maybe more officers. I am absolutely in favor of that, and I support that. And I'm looking forward to being elected, sitting in the seat, and voting yes for our Lake Stevens police officers.
This question will be for the school district candidates. We'll start with, is it Veldon? We'll start with you and go to Nina.
Yes.
And this will be a 1-minute question. What changes would you strive for if you're elected to serve on the Lake Stevens School Board?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that question one more time?
What changes would you strive for if you're elected to serve on the Lake Stevens School Board?
Well, we have a great school district, first of all. Our school district has been doing a phenomenal job on a lot of things. We moved here because of the good school district. We have excellent special education programs. We have a strong special education programs. However, there's always improvement. How can we do better? I believe changing some of the special education programs, I don't decide on that, of course. This would be the administration and professionals working together. Improvement on special education, of course, it's challenging. But one important thing besides special education is my platform. It's dear to my heart. That is suicide prevention for our youth. I think trauma-informed teaching, I would push for that. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So what I would do as a school board member, I'm very passionate. I am an achiever on StrengthsFinder, if any of you know what that is. But basically, I like to see outcomes, and I like to see holistic approaches to those outcomes for our teachers and for our students. So I would increase, I love our district. We have an amazing district, and our teachers are phenomenal. I will say that over and over and over. And I do think that our parents and teachers continue to deserve transparency and honesty from school board, from district, and so on and so forth. Communication, I think, is also an area in which we can continue to improve, as well as, the city council members have talked about growth, but I do think that the schools, we need to start really thinking proactively about growth in our district as well. And then especially, Vildan already talked about special education, but I am a huge proponent of our inclusion efforts, the diversity inclusion. So I would add so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This question, we're going to give everyone a chance to answer. It'll be a 30-second question. I will start with Steve, work to my right, and come back around and end with Joseph. If you were given a $500,000 grant to use in Lake Stevens, or the county, or the schools, how would you allocate it in the best interest of your constituents?
Lake Stevens, well, I'd split it $250,000 to the senior center. It's inadequate in size. 20% of our constituents are seniors, and they've been isolated during the pandemic, and $250,000 for the food bank. Lake Stevens Food Bank also will house Volunteers of America and the Veterans Association. All of those people will benefit from the services that are offered in this tremendous community, and the people that are underrepresented need our assistance.
Yes, I think I would put some money towards Parks and Recreation. I've been hearing from our constituents that they're feeling like their green spaces are going away at a rapid rate, and that they came here because they love our lake and they want to be able to get out and enjoy the beautiful surroundings that we have. I also feel like that it would be a great investment into creating small business areas. We do have infrastructure in place currently that could be utilized for that. And so investing in that would be what I would do.
I would agree a little bit with Councilmember Ewing. However, maybe a tweak with a little more balance to the food bank. That is one thing that we need to get done in our community. It's been languishing for a number of years. We are still short of our goal in order to get that accomplished, and we need to focus on that to get that thing up and running so it adequately serves our community. The other issue is the senior center. They are working very hard, but at the same time, they are an underfunded entity and they need our help. Thank you.
I would also contribute to the Lake Stevens Food Bank. I met with them. I know they're doing a fantastic job. And I would definitely do a portion there. But I also like to get some social services started here in Lake Stevens for the mentally challenged and people that are struggling in that area. So I would like to put a portion of it towards that. Also, I would divvy up just a little bit of it to the Senior Citizens Center. I know that that's a struggle, but that's how I'd spend it.
So both my wife and I volunteer with Food Bank. So Food Bank is high priority for us. We're trying to build a new building, high cost to doing that. We need to get that taken care of. But I agree that $250,000 going towards the food bank and $250,000 going towards the senior center are the best ways to use that money at this time.
Okay, $500,000. What have we just been talking about? Public safety. It is the number one obligation of any type of government is to protect their people. So where would I spend that $500,000 windfall? Lake Stevens Police, you just got 4 officers. Because you keep all of us safe. You keep the peace. You allow us to go and volunteer at the food bank and be concerned with our seniors. And when we get that second 500 seniors and food bank, you're getting that.
Well, I've already proven with the Rotary Skate Park, and I've contributed towards that. Make sure you pick up my newspaper before you're done tonight on that. But next Wednesday at 1:30, we're voting on ARPA funding, $56 million. I have a request that's coming out tomorrow for $600,000 for our Lake Stevens Food Bank. The only way we're going to get that through is with your help. So make sure you call on Wednesday at 1:30 and say, we need to make sure our Lake Stevens Food Bank gets funding from the county. So help me with that, please.
So selfishly, I would give it back to the sewer district because that's where I'm from. I think that there are programs that we have in place for people with lower income, and they can apply for that. And I think I would like to see it go to that for anyone who's having issues paying their bills.
And I would disagree. I think our greatest gem is our seniors in our community. And as a city council member, when I was sitting, I was advocating for our senior center to get an expansion and to better serve the seniors in our community. I'm also a child who used to use the food bank as a youngster, and I think that that is a need that this city needs. And I think you always go from your youngest to your oldest of your generation, and they are the most important people in our community. So I definitely would give that money to the seniors and to the food bank.
So I would definitely allocate some of the money towards our high school students in terms of the college and or career prep. I would also allocate some of that to our infrastructure and safety. We have a school in our district that doesn't even have doors currently. I would also allocate for counseling and well-being the mental health resources. Our language, arts, and music could also, get a boost. Transportation as well. Shout out to the bus drivers lately that have been doing incredibly. And then also, that's my time.
My eyes are glistening with that $500,000. What we can do for our school district. And the most important thing to me is the mental health of our youth. We are hurting. We are in a pandemic. We as adults are suffering from mental health. We need to destigmatize it. We need to normalize mental illness so they can ask for help. I would use it for mental health. Thank you.
Yes, if we were to get 500,000, there's a lot of needs in the Lake Stevens community. First and foremost, I'd break it up a little bit more. I'd give 50,000 to the Veterans Commission to help our veterans in our community. I would also allocate $50,000 to the Boys and Girls Club. Our youth need programs. They need areas to play. They need programs after school, so I would definitely give money there. And of course, the Senior Center and the Food Bank all need funding at this time. Thanks.
I believe that pretty much everybody's answer has been for low income, the youth, and the elderly. Those are the target groups that are going to need the most help traditionally from the government. I think that there is an entire community of assisted living and rent-controlled individuals, residents in our city, that are not able to walk across the street to the Target because they don't have a safe crosswalk. I want to support our seniors and our youth with that.
All right, thank you. I think most of you were just sucking up to the MC tonight, by the way. This next question we will direct to the City Council. I'm going to start with Joyce and work to the right and then back around. This is how do you prioritize finding a way to fund our library? What other projects will you prioritize funding over the library? 1 minute.
Can you repeat it one more time?
How do you prioritize finding a way to fund our library? What other projects will you prioritize funding over the library?
Well, I think that funding the library is important. I grew up poor, and so having those resources at the library to go down there and read books and to learn was a great asset. So how would I find funding? I would partner with the Lake Stevens Library and find out how the residents can either start some kind of donations for the library, maybe starting some kind of bill that maybe we can get on the docket to see if people would give to the library, see if it's something that we could get passed with Lake Stevens as a necessity as it is. And one thing I would fund over the library would be sidewalks. We are in critical needs of sidewalks. It's crucial. It's important. A lot of people don't have them. Mothers are concerned. They're scared. I've talked to a lot of people doorbelling. Sidewalks are in dire need of safety. So, thank you.
So funding the library is an important issue for our city. How would I prioritize it? Well, the priority is to try to figure out how we're going to do it. And right now, what we have is we have the Civic Center plan with the library up at Chapel Hill, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to fund it. The basic way you would fund something like that is go to the constituents and ask them to raise their taxes in one way or another to fund the library, and that would be through your property taxes. And so we need to bond that money. We need to get the thing built and get it done. There's other things I would prioritize over the library: our police and our other staff in the city. We need more of all of them. We are the most understaffed city of our size in the state, and we need to fix that.
So libraries are really important because reading a book can open the world to a child, an adult, to everyone. So I think I would take kind of a blended approach where, you know what, usually those things are funded through some kind of special levy that we get on to vote on as a community. And I would like, though, for there to be a lot of community input, because I know there's a lot of folks here that it's really important. And if we can pull those groups together, I have no doubt that we could make it work. Of course, location and accessibility is really important. So we would have to make sure that wherever it's targeted, it's really going to serve the folks who are going to use it most. And so pulling the community together, possibly with a bond to fund some of it, but also in today's day and age with all of this digital that we've been doing and Zooming, I'm not sure we need it as big, so we may be able to save some money and be really cost effective.
Go ahead, Sam.
Am I on now? Okay, great. So as far as prioritizing funding for the library is extremely important. I endorsed the library vote last time and worked on the campaign for that. And I've endorsed Prop 1 for our firefighters this time. That's extremely important too. But as far as things that are more important than the library is up there, but public safety is always going to be number one. People need to feel safe in their homes, and we need to make sure we have the proper police force. The food bank's right up there too. We've got people struggling with food insecurity right now. The senior center's right up there too. I would prioritize that. And then our historical museum too. That needs to come back too. We need a permanent place for our history museum. So those are things I would prioritize with the library. Thank you.
I think everyone's going to say the library is important. The face of the library has changed. It's a lot of electronics. People want to get on computers and need use of computers. We realize that at the city. Funding that is important for us, but that comes in the form of a bond. There's a Snow Isles Library, and the city works with them. We're trying to build a joint facility, so that way we have one spot for a lot of needs that are out there. As far as projects, I would say they're more important. I'm always going to go with safety as my number one priority. We need more officers. We talk about opportunities for them to go and get training and so forth. I'm always going to lean on the side of that. On top of that, we have the city both merging there, but we also have the food bank that we've needed for a long time. The senior center needs a lot of priority. And finally, we need to look at how we continue to have programs and parks for their youth. Thanks.
Thank you. I Absolutely believe the library is important. I don't think anybody is going to disagree with that. I think that there are many city essential services that we should absolutely prioritize before the library. Those are pretty easy things to be able to point to when it comes to first responders and electricity fixing and keeping our lights on in the city hall. But the important thing that we need to remember is that the library is critical for underserved and marginalized communities the globe over. I myself would literally not be sitting here as an adult if it was not for the library that I got to spend as much time in as I did. And that's very important. But I also think that it's still important to remember that it's a funding issue that has not been addressed.
Well, a lot of good answers there. So public safety does take precedence over the library, as difficult a decision as to make. I want to first say that I'm grateful for a couple people that have worked hard for the library. We have an outstanding library board for the city. I'm an advisor to that. Mary Dickinson is also part of that. She has been instrumental in working to get a library in Lake Stevens, so I should publicly acknowledge her. John Lovick, one of our elected representatives, has done a fantastic job securing funds for our library, for the new library. So I want to thank our officials, our elected officials, who are doing their part to help with the funding issue. As has been said before, a bond would be necessary due to the cost of it, and that would essentially raise taxes for our citizens. And I hope that we can figure out a way to get a library that will meet the needs of all of our citizens. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of echo what everyone else is saying. Obviously, the library is fantastic, and we as a community, I think in Lake Stevens in particular, we have a unique, kind of outcry for our library. We have a lot of families here who love using it. Myself, when I was a kid, it was one of the only safe places that I had, and so it's very near and dear to me as well. But as a mom myself, I can't send my son to the library right now because there is no sidewalks to make sure that he is safe getting there. So that, I think, is one of the main priorities that we need to be looking at, is making sure that our infrastructure is supporting these families going and using these facilities. I'll echo what Mr. Ewing said. Having John Lovick being a big part of that and helping with the funding is incredible. I'm happy to be endorsed by him. He's a phenomenal representative, and let's just keep moving on the library path. So, yeah.
I, as a city council member, my priority is to the city and its services. The library has Snow Isle and the library board. We have worked in partnership with those two, with that entity, to help facilitate a location and a facility. But as far as a priority for us as a city council, certainly we can help and encourage that, but they have their own taxing district and their own funding. So as far as a priority from the city funds, I don't know as though that's accurate or appropriate. As far as prioritizing things, we've invested a heck of a lot of money in this park right out here. I want to see it stay in that condition. I don't want to see it get run down like our parks were. Lundin Park has been rehabilitated, and Frontier Heights is on its way also. So those are priorities that I would like to see move forward. They're assets to the community, and I'd like to maintain those.
This next question will be for the city council candidates. It'll be a 30-second question. We'll start with Kim Daughtry. Go to the right, and then come back over here, and Marcus, come down. With this last year and a half of isolation, what are your plans to try and have better communication systems for the residents of Lake Stevens?
Great. That's a tough one. 3 seconds to answer that one. Gary, you want to go? No. Well, the communication systems, I guess, that we have is we've got Facebook. Oh boy, I love that. But I don't know how to answer that question. What communication systems? I'd love to get a newspaper in Lake Stevens. That would be great. Anybody want to build a newspaper? I think we got somebody here that wants to do that right there. Yeah, there he is. So we need a newspaper. Thank you.
All right.
Is that me?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, the last 18 months of this pandemic have been horrific. The isolation has been devastating for all ages, young to old, and communication at best has been strained. And as hopefully your next city council member, I would encourage, pick up the phone, call me, text me, email me. Let's have conversations because I want to hear from you so I can help respond and foster that communication.
Kim, I feel you on this question. I feel like the city of Lake Stevens has worked so hard to make Zoom meetings, make all of our meetings open to you. They're recorded. There's great opportunity to reach out to us via phone. You can bring your problems forward versus emails to us. And, you know, I'm open to meeting at coffee shops, out in the open places. But I think we've done a great job in the city, making our city website very available to find meetings that we're having and just be able to check up on us and reach out to us. So I think we're doing the best we can.
Thank you. As a millennial, I would have to answer all of them. There is no individual particular way to be able to share information with a resident that is going to be any greater or lesser than the way they want it to come to them. And that's going to be the most important part, is finding as many of the appropriate channels to put communication and information into our residents' hands and allow them to consume it from the source they please.
It's important for us, as Joseph mentioned, excellent answer, that we provide communication for all the citizens. The biggest complaint we get is from the older demographic that doesn't do online services, and how do we get that information to them? So we are making excellent strides with regard to the people that have internet access, reliable internet access, but we need, and we're lacking in being able to get that information to the citizens who don't have that access.
Yeah, so I think we have an untapped opportunity, at least in regards to our website, to let it be more of a hub for the city as far as information is concerned. And, you know, speaking of social work and trying to improve that area, making sure that we have a lot of resources available to the community, particularly during this pandemic. I also think there is some opportunity for some transparency. I definitely, at the end of the day, do not want to hear about what's going on with my city through the Herald.
The last 18 months has certainly been a challenge. One thing I would suggest, and I have been pushing for, is to get our council meetings back to normal so that we can actually interact with our citizens instead of being on Zoom. Zoom has created a wall, and even though you can see their face, it's pretty hard to get the feeling, the emotion of what's really going on in their thoughts. So my first push would be to get us back on a council basis to meeting with the public and having our meetings just like we're having right now. I would encourage that strongly. Thank you.
My solution to this problem is a emergency services manager employee. And what this person does, it notifies the public of all emergencies. And how they do that is they go around, they collect everybody's personal cell phone. And for people who don't have a cell phone, such as the elderly, they know their addresses and they know how to get the information out to them quickly. An emergency services manager manages all the emergencies for the city and throughout the city, and they're able to get the information to you quickly.
All right, thank you. So this next question will be for all of the city, county, and then also for the school board positions. I'm going to start with Jessica and go to the right, and we'll give 1 minute for this answer. What is this came from a community member. It sounded like I could have wrote this a few years ago. What is the plan for the youth that are running wild in Lake Stevens, the teenagers, even my own son, not my son, but whoever wrote this, even my own son is part of the problem. How come schools can't prescribe some community service to the kids that are struggling to behave?
I love this question actually, because as a mother of a preteen, I am very much living in that world myself. Our kids need something to do. They need things to do. Our families need things to do. Just right now, we have a building across from Hagen's that's unoccupied that we could be using for either a movie theater or a bowling alley or something like that, that will give us something as a community to come together and do together, keep our youth occupied, as well as help bring some economic funnel through. I think we need to be looking at our city and figuring out where we can plug those things in so that we can continue to be one community around the lake, truly.
Very difficult question. Through these times, there's a lot of people that have extra time on their hands. We see it with the vandalism that's taken place in our city facilities, and I sure hope that stops here pretty soon because it's costing us a lot of money to fix those things. But I would agree. There's numerous things throughout our community that we could probably help facilitate. I don't think it's the city's business to provide a movie theater or a bowling alley, but hopefully facilitate a private entity to provide those services. So there's lots that we can be doing, and hopefully with the help of the school district, we can partner in those regards to hopefully get that idle time back to productive use. So thank you.
So my husband and I once had teenage daughters, and I understand. So, and I agree with Jessica. We need something that the youth can do. When you give their hands something busy to do, they are busy doing that. And we, as the decision makers, need to make those decisions along the lines of a bowling alley or some type of recreation that the youth can do, they can get involved in. Because if you don't have them involved in something, they get involved in, if you don't have them get involved in something you want them to do, they will channel and funnel that energy into something you don't want them to do. So I think heads need to come together to find out some kind of recreation that we can actually put in place. We're looking at bringing in some commercial properties in here. So maybe we can look at a bowling alley or something, maybe, maybe a racquetball court. We don't know, but that's at least something we can entertain for our youth to keep them busy and to keep them stop doing the graffiti. Hopefully that will eliminate some of that, but you got to give them something.
Okay, well, this is a very important thing, and there's a couple things going on right now in the city that we're working on towards this way. We have a building that we've just gotten acquired over in the south area. It used to be a youth community center. It needs some work. We're getting ready to do the work on that. There was a basketball court and racquetball court and things in there, so we're working on that. The other thing that I take a little bit of pride in, and I hopefully a couple of the other council members here take pride in, is the Youth Advisory Council. We started a Youth Advisory Council about 6 months ago. I think the Youth Advisory Council, which I see 3 of their members are here. Thank you very much for coming. They can reach out and get the kids to tell us what they need, like when they did when they asked for a skate park, and we got them a skate park. So hopefully I can get the Youth Advisory Council to look at that as one of their prerogatives and get back to the council on different ways that we can use that information.
Youth. They're good kids. Most all of them are good kids. They just can't be idle. And so I'm thinking we need to kind of spearhead as a community, rally around our kids, and start some internships with local businesses or apprenticeships with some trades. Get these folks, find out what they like, these young people, and help channel them toward what they want to do. Now, we do have some things in the city. We've got a great park here. We've got a skate park in other places. But what we're missing is the transportation to get the kids from point A to point B, and through working through community transit, which I'll volunteer to be on that board, I can get them that kind of transportation, which I believe was something that Mr. Daughtry had promised, at least in this last term, if not before that. So If we can get them moved around the city, I think we can open up the world to them. And those are some of my ideas that I would foster.
So one of the things that I heard about for years was there was no skate park for the kids. We tried for 30 years to get a skate park. We now have a Rotary skate park, and I want to thank Steve Hobbs wherever he is. I saw him earlier. He helped contribute towards that from the state funding. Frontier Park is a big investment. I remember Mayor Spencer and I, when I was president of the city council, we met with that neighborhood and started the beginnings for Frontier Park and the city taking that over. One of the other cool things is the Lake Stevens path on South Lake Stevens Road, investing in areas where our kids can exercise and get out. We need a library for our kids to go to and spend time at. But one of the big things, I got a whole list here, but I'm running out of time, but one of the big things, the Boys and Girls Club, we need to invest in our Boys and Girls Club and help them. I'm encouraged by Chris Pratt and his dedication and having our teen center built up for kids. I was a state youth of the year for Boys and Girls Clubs, and they really do a great job with kids that are struggling like I was. Thank you.
I think that we need to continue thinking out of the box a little bit. And what I mean by that is partly using empowering language when we're describing students, because they are an incredible part of our community. So when we talk about students, we ask for their opinions. I would love to see an advisory board for the school board specifically made of students, to give them not only the experience, but the civic experience and empower them with those skills. I do believe that one of the things that we can do is possibly a community service learning project. When I was a professor for a number of years, as part of the curriculum, students were able to not only learn curriculum, but apply that to the real world. How do we do that for our students today? Increasing belonging. When students feel like they have a place in school and a place in our community, they're more willing to do the work and willing to give back to our community. So I hugely advocate for that.
I have two 12-year-olds. So I am going to just add to all these great ideas and say three things: compassion, empathy, and kindness. Let's meet our youth with the following these three things. Actually, if we follow that for anything, would be so good. So, as far as the school, I think just want to add the community engagement activities would be wonderful for our youth. And perhaps our school can come up with parenting skills and family relationship program with our PTAs or any other gathering. So again, please, to our youth, let's have compassion, empathy, and kindness.
Part of the reason I got on council is I realize the importance of partnerships. I serve in the Rotary as well, and getting the Cavallero Skate Park, once again, Steve Hobbs, thanks for making part of that, and thanks for the endorsement as well. Sam Lowe from the county, we all worked together on that to make it. But the Rotary also was a group that brought that skate park. In that same area, we're looking at trying to put a multi-sports complex indoors. Remember when we talked about the $500,000? I was one of the people who said, let's put it towards the Boys and Girls Club. We need after-school activities for them. We need the ball fields, more sports places for kids to go play sports. What else would I put down? And then help finding after-school programs. I used to take the after-school bus to go play football, or with Chris, I don't know if he's in the room, but we used to go play baseball together. And I think helping the school district get the kids moved around and finding other sources of transportation to get them out. And then also making them feel comfortable going out and trying new activities.
Thank you. I have heard some really fantastic answers here so far, and a lot of people that we probably need to say, we feel you, we got you. You got some kids at home that are pretty rambunctious, don't you, Vildon? I think everybody has said fantastic things, but treating our youth as if they are adults is probably where we have to start. We need to make sure that they have civic engagement and civic pride, and that will help reduce the type of idle hands, if you will, that we have had recently. All of these other things, the skate park, all of it, it's fantastic ideas. More school programs. I hope to be able to partner with our school board for that. But how are the kids going to get there? That's what it always comes back to. We've had tons of problems in the city over the course of the last 15 years. I can't even walk to my park that is just under a mile away.
Excellent answer so far. I'm especially proud of our Youth Advisory Council. So before I get into that, I'll tell you, they want to serve. Our youth want to serve. They need meaningful activities to serve. So as you look around this room here, look at the baseboards here, you see all that trim there. Earlier this year, the mayor asked me to get a group of youth together to do all the staining of the woodwork in this building. So I got about 30 youth. I believe some of the youth council members participated in that. And on a Saturday, we spent about 4 hours staining the woodwork in here, saving the taxpayers significant resources. I jokingly said that the youth council could effectively replace the city council members who do an outstanding job. They are really extraordinary at what they do. They're focused on service. I just want to say and compliment our board members, school board members who are focused on suicide prevention and mental health services. Those are things that our youth need to help them through this challenging time. Did Jody go?
This question will be for the sewer district candidates. You'll be given 1 minute to answer. We'll start with Rochelle. We are a city around the lake. What environmental practices will best protect our lake?
Some of the best environmental practices will be education to our community about the type of things that we shouldn't be putting down our drains, like medications, the grease fat from your bacon you made that morning. So I think a lot of it, and a lot of that starts in the youth. Like, I would love to partner with the school districts, because the one thing kids love to do is point out everything their parents are doing incorrectly. So it was a great campaign for the police department, I think, when we put in the new seatbelt laws back when I was a kid. So yeah, and then the other thing is that I do know, in watching a few or in on a few of the sewer district meetings, we've had a couple spills. And for me, that was very concerning because they were along the lake. So I wish one of the commissioners had asked John Dix at the time who mentioned it, what we could do better to prevent that. And accidents happen, but we also need accountability for it of our elected officials. Thank you.
I will echo that the only thing that's appropriate to flush is human waste and toilet paper. I think everyone should know that. As far as the environment, there's a lot of things happening with the Department of Ecology and nutrient permits that are coming down. And I think that it's important for everyone to know, including our city partners, that this is a big deal. And these are things that are going to cost, and we're going to have to be prepared for it. And there's not a whole lot of time. Other than that, I think the staff and the sewer district does an amazing job of approaching spills and things that happen, and they do their best in a timely manner. Things happen, urgent things. So that's it. Thank you.
This question will be for the city council and county council positions. We'll start with Joseph and work to my right. This will be a 30-second answer on this question. If elected, will you support or repeal the ordinance banning safe injection sites in the city?
This is an issue that's very near to my heart after having lost my younger brother to drug addiction. And there's a lot of ways to be able to help fight drugs. And safe injection sites is one of them. And monitored and managed appropriately, it is an incredible resource to help people treat their addiction.
I do not support safe injection sites in the city, and that is, I think some valid points have been, I'll just say, Joseph, I'm sorry for your loss of your sibling, but I don't support safe injection sites. There is some, I don't believe that that is an appropriate thing for our city, and that's not necessarily based on my views, but the views that I'm hearing from the citizens that have talked to me about it, and that was brought up a few years ago with the city council, and there was strong opposition to it. Thank you.
Yeah, so this was actually a subject that I myself have, been really trying to research and understand a little bit more, and I've had the opportunity to speak to some of our social workers in Snohomish County. There isn't enough evidence that I am seeing that supports safe injection sites. I am, however, in full support of making sure that we have mental health support available. I really am proud of our city for this, embedded social workers that we do have partnerships with. And I'm sorry, I guess that's it. Thank you.
Back in 2017, when I was first appointed to the council, this issue came before us, and I was one of the first council members that said no to this. I am not in favor of safe injection sites for this city. We don't have the social services background for it to complement it. And certainly with partnerships throughout the county, there are probably places better suited for it than the city of Lake Stevens, but I am not in support of it.
I am not in support of injection sites. I believe in proactive with mental health services for the city that could help support some of those issues. But I don't believe that an injection site would be beneficial to the city of Lake Stevens, because we have to start with the social services first. And until we get that handled and going, then I don't see us being successful in doing that.
I also do not believe in the safe injection sites for the city. It's the wrong thing to do here in Lake Stevens for all the reasons that have been stated already. So I agree with no safe injection sites.
Thank you. Addiction's a really hard thing. It has touched my family as well. However, when it came up, as everyone has said, a couple of years ago and before county council, I did a lot of research. And my research showed me that the communities where the sites are located are severely damaged in multiple ways. And the people who live there were no longer protected because of the injection sites being there and all of what happens in and around them. So for that reason, because I believe we should all be safe, my answer would be no.
Good on this? All right, thanks. I've already voted to ban the siting of safe injection sites here in Snohomish County at the Health District. And one of the things that really swayed me is tour Vancouver, British Columbia, where they have these sites already. If you go to the neighborhood where it's located, it's a very terrible place, and people there are truly hurting. And I do believe we need to help those that are hurting. We need to invest more in those that are struggling with drug abuse and mental health. Our jail is doing a great job in this area, but I do not believe in citing of these.
I also voted no for safe injection sites. When we got the reports and looked at all the information, we don't have the social services here to support that. Lake Stevens is a great community, and we have a lot of needs here in that area of helping people with mental health issues. But for me, this is not a place I want safe injection sites. They also show that areas around safe injection sites sincerely have a lot of issues around them, and the businesses and places around them as well. So I'm not for that.
This question will be for all candidates. It is a 1-minute question. I'm going to start with Gary and work to the right. Please explain how you will lead with an equity lens.
How to lead with an equity lens. The first thing I would do is listen. We have a diverse community that is growing, and within that community, obviously the diversity is within that community. So the first thing is to listen. We spent the better part of last year listening, as a council. And under the mayor's leadership, we formed a community advisory committee regarding our situation with folks in our community that felt disadvantaged, I guess is the best way to put it. And through that process, that is a listening process. I don't have the experience of what other people have experienced in their life, and we need to listen to that. So it's kind of a basic concept, but listening would be what I would do. Thank you.
So how I would do it is I would share my experiences. I think that the worst thing that you could do is to not pay attention when people are trying to share with you about equity and inclusion, because it is important. I've lived here for a number of years. I'm a hardworking taxpayer. I love my city, and I stepped up to the plate because I don't see that happening. I think that we need to get back to making sure that all voices are heard and people are listened to, and especially the black and brown people, because we work just as hard, we pay our taxes, we live in the city. We are invested just like you are. So to me, I would lead by example. That's exactly how I would lead.
Well, everybody knows that this has been in the news for quite a while, especially after what had happened about a year ago, or a little over a year ago. It's a very important thing for America, not just our city, but the entire nation, to take a pause and find out what they think about their neighbors, the differences of all people. Everybody is important. Everybody has something to contribute to the society, and we should listen to everybody. Everybody is equal in this nation, and it's a fact. We're all equal. I enjoy talking to just about anybody. Joyce has some really cool things that she said to me. I've learned a lot from Sean, who is another person on our council of color. I even listen to my wife sometimes. But it's just important to listen, to gather information, try to figure out where we can improve the lives of everybody in the community.
When we talk about diversity and equity, we look around the room and we go, hey, we're here. There's lots of folks that were here now that weren't here 10 years ago, and that's fantastic. Personally, my family and extended family reads like a rainbow. And while I personally may not have experienced everything the other family members have experienced, I have listened, I have cried with them, I have laughed with them, and I have tried to make sure that the folks doing it right get kudos, and the folks who are doing it wrong get consequences. We have state and federal laws, and particularly Title VII, that need to be enforced. If you're a violator, you need to have consequences. In my line of work as an attorney, you might notice before you walk into a courthouse that Lady Justice is blindfolded, and that's for a reason. It's because we are all deserving of being treated with nothing less than dignity and respect.
I think first of all, we have to listen, and we have to listen. Listening is so important. At the county council, we did a lot of listening last year. And I want to applaud Jared Mead on the county council. He increased the Law and Justice Council, and Joyce was appointed for our District 5, and I appreciate her work on that committee. I also regularly attend the Monroe Equity Council. That's something that I started last year, and I attend their meetings fairly regularly, and I learn a lot from that. I used to be part of the Lake Stevens Allies for BIPOC until I was kicked out of that group for some odd reason, not sure why. I'm also funded by the Tulalip Tribes because I've listened to them and worked on issues that matter to them, and they've helped fund my campaign, and so I appreciate their support. And then lastly, my friend JJ in Marysville, we played football in high school. His daughter was the one at Marysville High School whose life was threatened for the color of her skin, and we need to listen. Thank you.
I think number one is communicating respectfully and just being good to people. It's not that hard. We're all just people, love each other and listen to what they have to say and their stories and their experiences. And just number one thing, be respectful. Thank you.
I'm going to echo basically what everyone has said here. It's not always just about race. It's about social economics. I think recently, as Jennifer said, it needs to be about caring for one another. There's a lot of hate going around. Like, I do hurt when I hear people say awful things about law enforcement. Yes, they chose their job, but they also keep all of us safe. And I appreciate that. So for me, listening, being compassionate, and we have a lot of healing to do, not only as a community, but as a nation.
I think when you come from a position where listening is a choice, that's one situation. When you are a person of color or a student who is part of the LGBTQIA+ community, that's something completely different. You're living with those experiences. The lens that I put on for equity, for some, they take it off. But for me, it's always, always on. And what I mean by that is I'm a bridge builder by nature. Ever since I was 5 years old, I translated for my grandmother with doctor appointments and so on and so forth. My entire life has been about equity, about ensuring that every student and every teacher and every adult is included. So I would say that the lens is definitely something you can take off if you have the choice, but I would recommend never to take it off.
I want to thank you, Dr. Kim Hansen, for those lovely words, and I completely, I am there with her. Our city, I am just going to talk about the school board side, school district side. Our city is expanding and becoming more diverse. 6 years ago, when I started subbing, I may have been the only one with an accent. Every classroom I went to, it's like, Mrs. Kirby, do you speak another language? That was the thing. And what our district should do is start taking necessary steps to ensure both the classroom environment and curriculum are in correlation with the increasing cultural diversity of our community. It needs to reflect that. And I would love to see our school district having that diversity in staff hiring as well. They are on the right way by hiring a diversity, equity, inclusion director, and thank you for that.
I love Lake Stevens, and I love how we've grown. We've talked about all the growth that we've had, and that growth has brought a lot of diversity to us. And I think Sam mentioned everyone else is listening. I really like that at the city council meetings, we've had different groups coming in and giving us advice and helping us see it through a different lens. And I really appreciate that. And I hope that people keep coming to the city council and making us aware of the issues. Because of those issues and everyone's brought forward, we put an advocacy committee together to help with the community and help with the mayor to do that. A model which has worked extremely well in Marysville and where I think the idea came from as well. And I talked to the mayor the other day and he said he's seen some great outcomes from that. I also would say it's about educating yourself. I know several people on the council have recommended that, hey, let's get some education. I've embraced that, and seeing it through different lenses helped me make some different decisions that maybe I would have before.
I'm going to try to slow down what I'm about to say so that I don't stumble over everything. Growth projections say that the city of Lake Stevens is going to reach an almost 50-50 parity in the next 15 years with citizens that are considered minorities versus those that are considered white. The vast majority, unfortunately, of minority community members is that they tend to need more social services and lower income housing in order to be able to achieve that parity. I am an ally. I have been an ally, and I still am working to be a better one. It's very important to realize that arming yourself with information is great, but diversity and inclusion is an activity. It is a verb. It is not a passive thing that we can do by just listening. We need to be proactive in order to be able to solve some of these issues, and I'm not seeing that happen from the City Council.
So I just want to echo that diversity and equity is more than just race or gender or orientation. So I just want to tell you a little bit about my background. So several years ago, I joined the National Association for Advancement of Colored People. And as a white person, attending their meetings is an interesting part. But what caused me to join their meeting is Derek Johnson, Amos Brown. Derek Johnson's the president of NAACP National Chapter. Amos Johnson's the president of the board. They formed an alliance with an organization, and to help the people, you had to have been incarcerated, not employed in 5 years, and not graduated from high school. That was the target people. And their ability to reach those people and to raise them from the situation they were in was extraordinary. So listening to people, understanding, and helping those people, I'm proud of the work that is being done by people that come together. Martin Luther King Jr. recently spoke about the importance, about service, bringing groups together for the betterment of the community.
Yeah, this is a hard question to answer in 1 minute. I think in general, listening is obviously the first step, but I think it goes beyond that. It's a matter of partnering with those communities, to your point, Steve, all marginalized communities, about what the layers of unique issues that are facing them, and then working as a representative to find solutions for them. Also amplifying their voice, putting them in positions of power where they actually have a stake in what's happening. And then lastly, this is kind of a subject that's been polarized. We can have it be that it isn't against, police against, marginalized communities. There should be partnership. There should be community. And that's what we need to start fostering here. And that starts with listening, but it also, to Joseph's point, it has to have action behind it. And so, yeah.
All right, we have just enough time to do closing statements. We are going to start with Jennifer and work our way to the right, and then we'll end up finishing up with Sam. We're going to give 1 minute each for a closing statement.
I just would like to say a couple of things about that I didn't get to talk about earlier. Just so everyone knows, your rates haven't changed in 5 years for the sewer district. They've been stable. 45% of your rate goes to maintenance and operation, and 55% goes to pay for debt. I would also like to say that if the city takes over, I believe that you'll probably be paying a utility tax on that, and your rates will go up, and they will be higher. There's just no way around that. I had other things I was going to say, I'm sorry. There was talk about bonds from the city, and I believe that they've lost their bonding capacity, so they can't get bonds because the revenue is not there. So the district is healthy financially, and I just appreciate your support. Thank you.
As everyone knows here, I am in favor of unification. As Jennifer had pointed out, 55% of your rates you're paying does go to the debt. The debt, however, will increase by about $30 million due to Department of Ecology new guidelines. They also need to improve the infrastructure on the Hartford Boulevard, which is estimated $8 million. And the reality is where that money is going to come from, because there's not going to be enough growth here in Lake Stevens, it's going to come from us, the ratepayer. Lake Stevens does have the capacity to offset that, And as far as the utility tax, unfortunately, the sewer district could add a utility tax to the sewer bill. I would encourage them not to add any more taxes, being that the communities and the state have been under a lot of stress for the pandemic. So with that being said, I am asking for your vote. I think I could represent you very soundly, and I will take into account your rates.
I truly believe that every student, every single student in our district deserves an empowering education. I believe that their education should always foster their academic achievements, but also their sense of belonging in a community and ignite their civic responsibility. I, as a mom of 2 young kids, I try to lead the best I can by example, with kindness, compassion, dedication, just a willingness to bridge between people maybe that don't agree with one another. I do believe that I can bring quite a bit of experience and expertise to this position, and I will continue to work hard for every single student. Whether you yourself agree or disagree with me, it doesn't matter, honestly. I think if elected to the board, I will work hard for every single student in this district. Thank you.
I always joke about my kids raising me versus me raising them. Every single day that I live here in Lake Stevens, I ask myself the same question. How can I be better? What can I do for you to thrive better? I ask this question to my kids time to time. So to me, mental health is so important. And especially after going through 18 months of isolation and uncertainty, I think our youth deserves a better mental health. I would be honored if I have your vote. I would love to work with the board to come up with a plan to ensure our children's education is able to continue smoothly and our youth has mental health help that they need. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for coming tonight. I would first start by saying I love this community. I grew up here. I have a small business here. I relate with the small business community extremely well. I think what we have going on is extremely important in Lake Stevens. We have a lot of framework we've put out there, and making sure that goes through is going to take experience. This upcoming election, we have almost half the council that has less than 5 to 6 years of experience. This isn't going to be an on-the-job type of training session coming up. It's going to take real world thinking. It's going to be council members who have been making hard decisions, continue to make hard decisions. As we've all said, and everyone has applauded the police department has spoken who they would really like to see represent them. All 4 of us have talked about that, and we've supported them the whole way. They take a large percentage of the budget, and we've had great communication back and forth with them, and I'm endorsed by the police department. I want to make Stevens not what Seattle is. I want to keep Lake Stevens my hometown that I grew up in. Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank the Chamber for putting on the event. You guys have done a fantastic job. I'd like to thank Marcus. Thank you for being here today. I am really disappointed to see 3 empty seats. This is not how you educate your citizens. This is not how you give them a choice and empower them. And more importantly, you need to know who is representing you. And the only way that you can do that is if you know how they're working, not hiding behind closed sessions. You need to be able to know what type of conflicts of interest that they have. You need to be able to know that your best interests are being represented. And it's very important for me to be able to tell you that my endorsements show that. I would also think that it's important to know that my funding shows that. It's also something that I find incredibly clever to continue to tout the 12 years of real-world experience that's missing.
So I just want to first start by complimenting my opponent, Jessica, for her hard work and her efforts with her campaign. Campaigning is very difficult. It's hard, it's emotionally taxing, and it's thankless in many respects. And so I just want to thank her for running a solid campaign. That being said, I just want to focus on the issues that I had brought up previously. Lived in Lake Stevens for 15 years. I've been on the Planning Commission for 2 years. I've served you on the council. This building is a result of funding that was authorized by the current council. The new Lake Stevens Police Building has been funded by the current council. I'm supported by the Lake Stevens Police Guild, the Snohomish County Sheriff's Deputies, and the Washington Council for Police and Sheriffs. Because public safety is a top priority for our community, those endorsements were very difficult to achieve. I had many significant interviews over an extended time to secure those endorsements. Thank you for your support, and I appreciate your vote.
Yes, I'd like to first of all thank the Chamber as well for hosting this forum and the opportunity to be here, as well as to all the candidates. I know that we're in the end of the line of campaigning at this point, and so congratulations to everybody for all the hard work. I come from a long line of people who have sacrificed their time to give back to their community. My grandma was actually a secretary for the fire department and the police department for Lake Stevens many, many years ago. And so it would be my great honor to continue that work and to serve my community. And I'm also not afraid to get in there and roll my sleeves up and ask the hard questions. I'm also not going to be malleable. I'm going to be the kind of representative that takes your concerns and your issues as the guiding light of everything I say and do, because it's my honor to do so. So I hope I can get your vote, and feel free to come up to me if you have any further questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the chamber hosting this in person. This is a nice relief to actually see faces, even though you're masked, but it's nice to see everybody here. For the last 4.5 years I've been on the council, I've had one fundamental question that I ask about everything, and that is, how are you going to pay for it? We've heard everything under the sun of trestle, sidewalks, parks, potential involvement in the library, open space acquisition, you name it. And the bottom line is, how are we going to pay for it? Without economic development in this community, we will not be able to afford anything beyond what we have right now. So we need to grow. As I talked about opportunity, that creates problem solving. But we simply need to increase our tax base so that we can pay for the things that we want. We've made tough decisions the last 5 years, 4.5 years I've been on the council. I will continue to make those tough decisions, and I ask for your vote so that we can continue moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Chambers, for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm glad that we had this opportunity to speak. I'm endorsed by some incredible leaders that have worked the grind, and I have been behind the scenes for a long time, many years, helping people. So I do not know how to make real life choices and real life decisions. Coming from a planning community development background, I have what it takes to sit in that seat. I understand how a city works and functions, and that's what I bring to the table. I'm excited about the city of Lake Stevens. I live here. I'm vested here. I have no desire for it to become like Seattle, but I am interested in working with the police department because they too are public servants. That's what all we do. We all serve the public. And when we get back to that, we can come together as a city instead of saying, we're here and you're there. We have to become unified. The separation needs to stop. And I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to sit in the seat, and thank you for having me here today.
So I've been on the council for 12 years. Most of the people in this room know that. We've been hard charging for that whole 12 years, growing like crazy. One of the things that I did when I first got on the council was reach outside the borders of Lake Stevens to help get our name out there with the other boards and commissions that make decisions that affect the city. Several of those are the transportation boards, and I've become the transportation wonk for the council. I talk to Steve Hobbs quite often when we can about transportation. I fought hard with Steve Hobbs to get the funding for Highway 9204, which we got in 2015 and is going to be built next year. I'm also on the Community Transit Board of Directors, where I serve as chair right now. I'm working hard on getting a transportation system here called First Mile, Last Mile from community transit into our city. And I'm also working on a Highway 9 commuter route, because we've got 5,000 or more jobs going in Arlington, and a lot of those people are going to live here.
Thank you all. I'm grateful to be here. So besides bringing fresh perspective, I am unique from any other candidate because I am an attorney. I do know how to read, decipher, and interpret legal documents. And that's important because contracts and ordinances are exactly what comes before council to be approved. And, you know, I want to use my skills for us. And you, me, we are the people. We are the community. We are the city. And so I make this promise to you. I will not shut down my brain and be a rubber stamp. I have zero conflicts of interest because you are my endorsement. I won't act like I have an unlimited credit card with your name on it, and I can't be bought. So I would really appreciate the honor of serving you as your next council person, and I would look forward to serving you. Please vote for me, Michelle Hampton.
So I want to thank the Chamber for hosting. What a great event. As usual, this is my third event in the last 6 years with you guys, so great job. I also want to thank the voters for coming out tonight and hearing from each of the candidates. And I want to thank all of my neighbors. Each person up here is my neighbor here in Lake Stevens. And I want to thank each person for stepping up to run. It's a thankless job, and I appreciate each person stepping up to do that. I represent 11 communities on the county council. But this community right here is my community. I live here, I work here, I volunteer here, I shop here, I eat here. My Lake Stevens office for East County is nachos. Everybody knows that. I'm endorsed by our deputies. I'm endorsed by our firefighters. I'm endorsed by labor, our county and city employees, AFSCME Council 2. I'm chair of the state TIB board. I'm a traffic safety commissioner, former chair of the health district, former president of the Lake Stevens Rotary Club, former president of your Lake Stevens City Council. I got a lot more formers to say, but I'm out of time. Can I take my opponent's time?
No.
All right, thank you.
All right, I want to thank all the candidates. I want to thank you all for respecting each other. It was really a pleasure to see that. I want to thank you for respecting the time. We didn't have to squelch anybody. I want to thank everybody that showed up here for the same, for being respectful of all the candidates. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Matt.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it. Let's give a hand for Doug Warren for being our MC tonight. Thank you. As Doug said, I want to thank all the candidates for being here tonight and putting your best foot forward and respecting each other. We really appreciate that. Thank you to all the audience members who came this evening, everyone who came to listen. Appreciate you all being here as well. Thanks for joining us for the Greater Lake Stevens Chamber of Commerce Community Candidate Forum this evening. A few notes before we leave. The candidates are invited to stay at their seats and for the members of the audience to come forward and speak briefly with them one-to-one. Or pick up some of their literature. So many of them have flyers, information, campaign flyers and such. You can pick those up from them. We do ask that you keep these conversations brief, as we only have about 20 minutes or so for this process. And if we could get some members of the audience to assist us with putting some of the chairs away. I know it's just like grade school choir concert, but we do have to get the chairs. A majority of these chairs go to the upstairs. There are 2 racks up there. So if we could get some help with those, bringing those chairs to the upstairs racks, we would really appreciate that. Again, thank you for coming and joining us this evening. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. We'll see you next time.